Hello and welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to learn some confusing vocabulary, so let's get started. Today we're talking about this word, through. Pronunciation: use the TH with no voice, just air, plus the R, through. Then the oo sound like food and moon, through. Don't roll the R, not through, but through. It's difficult, but practice. Through. I know through as a preposition. Example, you can drive through a tunnel, and your blood runs through your veins, or the wind blows through the trees. I know this, but what if I say I'm through? I'm through? Now through is an adjective. It describes a person that is finished. You can say I'm through, I'm finished, I'm done. They all mean about the same thing. But first, let's practice with the preposition through. Example, he's driving through the tunnel. Let's practice. Is he driving through the tunnel? That's right, he's driving through the tunnel. Does your blood run through your veins? That's right, your blood runs through your veins. Does the wind blow through the trees? That's right, the wind blows through the trees. Now let's talk about this through. Again, I'm finished, I'm done, I'm through. They all mean about the same thing. Through is a little more informal, and it's a little more final when you use through. But they can be interchangeable. Example, in this situation, I can say, he's done with all his work. Or I can say, he's finished. He's finished with all his work. And I can say, he's through. He's through with all his work. In this case, they're interchangeable. So we see after all of these adjectives, finished, done, and through, we use the preposition with. Let's hear some examples.
I'm done with it. I'm through with this.
96, she gets away with it this time. She might actually have another chance to kill again before she's through.
I'll read some more when I'm through with the doctor.
I'm through with him.
I'm through. I'm all used up.
She says she's through with motion pictures.
She's through for the summer.
It's what you're gonna have when I'm through with you!
By the time I'm through with you, you'll be begging to die.
I'm through with you, you're fired!
Ma'am, do me a favor and just be quiet until we're through with our investigation.
Let's practice. Is he finished with all his work? That's right, he's finished with all his work. Is he done with all his work? That's right, he's done with all his work. Is he through with all his work? That's right, he's through with all his work. Or I can use a gerund. That's right, after these adjectives, I can use a gerund. Example, he's finished checking his emails. I change the verb check with ing, checking. After finished, I need a gerund. He's finished checking his emails. I can say he's done. He's done checking his emails. Or I can say he's through. He's through checking his emails. They all mean the same thing. Let's practice. Is he finished checking his emails? That's right, he's finished checking his emails. Is he done checking his emails? That's right, he's done checking his emails. Is he through checking his emails? That's right, he's through checking his emails. Let's hear some more examples with through meaning finished or done.
I'm through doing stuff for you because you don't appreciate it.
I'm through doing hell's dirty work.
You're through working the tables, Joe.
But I know what you're doing, and you're through doing it.
The only ones who are going to tell me when I'm through doing my thing is you people here.
She said you're through working the tables, Joe.
So now we know through can be a preposition, like you drive through a tunnel, and through can be an adjective. I'm through, I'm done, I'm finished. We can use with to talk about a noun. I'm through with that, I'm through with the work. Or I can use a gerund. I'm through working. It means finished. or done. But what about these words? Using the verb end, or the verb finish, or the adjective over. They're used in different situations to talk about the same thing. Keep watching for a complete explanation and to practice more. First, it's not correct to say this.
And when my surgery finished, I fainted for like 30 seconds.
That's right. We cannot say, when my surgery finished, I fainted. Finish is an action for a person. Example, I finished my job. I finished all my work. But if I talk about things like surgery, or a meeting, or a movie, or a game, we don't use finished. I cannot say the game finished. I say the game ended, or the game is over. When talking about things like events, things that have a beginning, a middle, and an end, we don't use finish. We use end or to be over. Example, when the surgery was over, I fainted. Or you can say, when the surgery ended, I fainted, but not finished. Let's practice. Is the surgery over? That's right, the surgery is not over yet. They're still operating. Let's practice. Is the game over? That's right, the game is over. Is the meeting over? That's right, the meeting is not over yet. They're still talking. Is the movie over? That's right, the movie is over. So remember, use finish for a person. I finish, you finish, they finish. But for things that have a beginning, middle, and an end, like events, use end or to be over. This is not correct.
So basically, you just need to slow down during this area.
I cannot say you need to slow down during this area. The word during is used for time. Example, during the holidays, during the class. But we cannot say during this area. We say in this area. So it's correct to say you need to slow down in this area. Remember, slow down, the phrasal verb. In this case, slow is a verb, not an adjective. So you need to drive slower. We say you need to slow down. It's correct to say you need to slow down in this area, not during this area. Let's practice. Do you need to slow down in this area? That's right, you need to slow down in this area. Don't say during this area. This is also not correct.
And how do you know when the construction work is over?
I cannot say, how do you know when the construction work is over? When I use over, I talk about things like events. For example, the party is over, or the movie is over, the game is over. But I cannot say when the construction work is over. I say when the construction work ends. I use the verb end in this case. I cannot use over. So the question, how do you know when the construction work ends? You know because you see the sign. The construction work ends. So the question, how do you know when the construction work ends? And the answer, you know because you see this sign. Let's practice. Ask me the question. I know the construction work ends because I see the sign. That's how I know. That's how I know the construction work ends. Or you can say, that's how I know that I'm past the construction area. But I cannot say the construction work is over. Keep watching until the end of this video to practice with the difference between finish, end, and over. They're all a little different. This is also not correct.
Because I know in Latin America, it's called a different name.
I cannot say it's called a different name. If I use the word name, I cannot use the verb called. I cannot say it's called this name or it's called that name. I use the verb have or has. I can say it has a different name. Or I can say it's called something different or it's called something else. But I cannot say it's called a different name. This is wrong. Example, this is a sofa, but it has a different name. It's also called a couch. It can be called something else because it has a different name. Let's practice. This is a sofa. Does it have a different name? That's right, it has a different name. What else is it called? That's right, it's also called a couch. It can be called something else. But I cannot say it's called a different name. This is incorrect. Also, we don't say this.
This is my helmet, and it's a pink helmet. So I'm going to put it on my head and strap it under my chin because safety's first.
We don't say safety's first. Safety is first. With the contraction safety's first, we don't say this. We have an expression. We say safety first. We don't use is. We don't use the contraction safety's. We just say safety first. It's an expression. Grammatically, safety is first follows the rules, but we don't say it. We say safety first. So example, he's going to drive his car, but he didn't put on his seatbelt. So what do you say? You say, hey, safety first. Put on your seatbelt. Let's practice. He's going to drive his car, but he's not wearing his seatbelt. What do you say? That's right. You say, safety first. Put on your seatbelt. This is also not correct.
You cannot do that because this street is a one-way. So follow the arrow. It's pointed that way, and that means it's a one-way.
I cannot say this is a one-way. If I use the article a, I need a noun. So I say street. This is a one-way street. I cannot say this is a one-way. It's correct to say this is a one-way street. Let's practice. Is this a one-way street? That's right, this is a one-way street. This is also not correct.
So if you're a car and you're driving this way,
I cannot say if you're a car and you're driving this way. If you're a car, I'm not a car. We need a preposition in. If you're in a car and you're driving this way, this is correct. But I cannot say if you're a car. If you're in a car and you're driving this way, this is also not correct.
a roundabout is a sign with arrows that will show you the motion of traffic.
A roundabout is a sign with arrows that will show you the motion of traffic. A roundabout is a sign. A roundabout is not a sign. A roundabout is a roundabout. A roundabout is a circular road. It's not a sign. It will not show you anything. It's just a circular road. This is a roundabout. A roundabout is a circular road, not a sign. A roundabout sign is a sign, and a sign will show you the motion of traffic, but not the roundabout. It's just a road. So this is a roundabout. If I were to describe it, I would say it's a circular road. Let's practice. This is a roundabout. How would you describe it? That's right. I would describe it as a circular road. This is also not correct.
In this city where I am, you can rent out electric bikes or scooters.
I cannot say you can rent out bikes or scooters. So let's look at the difference. The difference between the phrasal verb rent out and the verb rent, because they are different. We use the phrasal verb rent out when you're the person that is charging money to use it. For example, I have a house and I'm going to rent out my house. That means somebody's going to live in my house and they're going to pay me. I'm going to rent out my house. What about rent? Well, the person that lives there and pays me, they are going to rent the house. The person is the renter, and they rent the house from me. I am the owner, so I rent out the house. So I cannot say you can rent out electric bikes or scooters. Because you're not charging money, you're paying money. You're the renter. So we use the verb rent. It's correct to say you can rent electric bikes or scooters. So who rents out bikes or scooters? The owner, the person that owns the business. They own the bikes, they own the scooters, they charge money, they rent out bikes and scooters to people, to their customers. So let's practice with both. Can you rent electric bikes and scooters? That's right. You can rent electric bikes or scooters, not rent out, because you're the renter, you're paying. I talk about the company, I say they. They rent out electric bikes and scooters to their customers. Let's practice. Do they rent out electric bikes and scooters? That's right, they rent out electric bikes and scooters They're charging money for people to use them. That's rent out. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, subscribe to our channel. And if you want to become a member, click the join button. And we'll see you next time.